can see the way they hate, and I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning. It's Friday, November 15th, 2024, and welcome to episode 806 of the Lost Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying a medium light Guatemalan from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with... Sorry, guys. Just got a big notification that Noster stream isn't up. I'm going to see if I can get it ripped and going again. Let me see. Looks like she's not going. Anyway, enjoying a medium light Guatemala from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with discount code LOTS10. And the shipping's always free. While you're there, check out C4 Club. C4 Club shipments go out the 15th of every month. That's today. Coffee on the way. I'm excited about that. Anyway, that was a big change. Little notification. I don't know. I don't think I can start that up anymore. Bummer. Sorry over there on Noster. I guess you can't hear me when I'm saying it. But anyway, let's head into the live chat on YouTube. YouTube is the only place the stream is going today. Interesting. Sorry. Anyway, a little delayed this morning. I jumped in and was reading some some interesting quantum theory, actually. Some light morning reading. I'm trying to get a note here in the Telegram chat. Sorry about the delay, guys. All right, let's see who's hanging out. John Palmer, good morning, good day, and good weekend. It is Friday. It is heading into the weekend. Hope everyone is going to have a good weekend. Rewild their life, getting ready for work. Hubs is in the woods. Hunting season open on a Friday. Does that normally open on a Friday? Is that a day of the month? Is that normally a Friday? Is it normally the 15th? I was always an archery hunter. I never rifle hunted deer, and we always had a extended season. So we hunted from the 15th. I guess it was the 15th every month, the 15th of September till January 1st. So, all right. So it starts the 15th. Jeremiah, good morning. Thanks for hanging out, enjoying some nice folders in the hunting blind. Good luck. Good luck to you. You're listening to this show in the hunting blind. Do you feel like the deer are going to like my show? They're going to come in. You got headphones on? Like, well, how are you expecting to shoot anything? Or do you just go to the blind to sit and enjoy the woods? Just drinking my coffee in the woods. What are you doing, sir? I'm hunting. Jeremiah's in Michigan too. Rewild their life, just so if you guys want to get together, hunt on the 15th together. Rewild their life says hubby does it all now: rifle, muzzle loader, fishing, small game. Chris Dixon over in the Telegram chat. Anybody want to grab the stream and share it to Mr. Dixon, the main YouTube stream? Share that in the Telegram group so he can join us. Jeremiah's got headphones just so he can hear that monster buck just coming around, so he's prepared to shoot it. He's got headphones in. Hunter says Noster no worky. No shit. I know that. I got a big red fucking exclamation points up on the top of my screen. and all I want to do is make it work. But that would, I think, require everything gets shut down. And now I have. Wait a second. Something's going on. StreamYard's buggered, fucked up. I don't know. If you can hear me right now, could you type a comment? This is just getting. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but it looks like so Hunter can hear me. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Rewilder Life hears me. Okay. John Palmer. This is frustrating. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. The hunt for new setups might be coming sooner rather than later if this continues to be the path with this service. I had some issues again yesterday. Hunter says you heard me on the vertical feed too. Okay, so broadcast stats are totally out the window. I can't look at those because son of a bitch. Oh God, guys, I'm sorry. I apologize for the shit show. I'm I'm just getting pretty frustrated with something that's worked for so long. A service that has worked for so long, and now it's just going completely sideways. It's just going completely fucking sideways within the last couple weeks. Hopefully it's pending an update. Anyway, guys, I like I said, I was reading into some interesting physics theories. Hunter says, is it everyone? Probably. One instance. So when the show dropped on Wednesday towards the end, and completely wiped out my recording, so I couldn't put up a audio version because I couldn't download it because it wouldn't process completely. That seemed like a system-wide error because when I got done with the show, there was a big message bar that says we're experiencing problems with the studio, and then it said it was fixed. But other than that, I think I've had two guests. It crashed their browser while we were interviewing, so it wasn't like it loaded up and the resources weren't there. Like we were several minutes into both our interviews, and it just like fucking it closed on them. And so I've had issues on my end, they've had issues on their end, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're in the middle of a upgrade or something, but man. Canadian Farmstead says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, sir. It's a morning for sure. I don't know how good it is. I mean, at least I woke up and I was breathing, so that's good. Rewilder says it worked good for us for our live Wednesday, but we've been using Zoom. Yeah. I've I'll see what happens. It's tough when it's going on 3 years maybe that I've been using it, and there's a lot of stuff set up. I understand how everything works, and I've always been happy with them, but just bless you. Just recently it's not coming through when it needs to be. So Canadian Farmstead says it's always a good day when you get the chance to do it all over again. Very true. Very true. Very, very true. And I got this fly in here buzzing around. Gonna be one of them days, huh? Anyway, I was reading about something called bounce theory. Have you guys ever heard of this? bounce theory. It's along the lines. It's in the same realm as the Big Bang. Actually, it's related to the Big Bang and several others. It was kind of taken out of favor in the 80s, in the early 80s, by another theory that popped up. But it's still being looked at. It's still being researched and things like that. But if you haven't heard of the big bounce theory, I don't necessarily know that I know enough about it in this morning. Canadian Farmstead says the fly was sent by the Stoics. They were watching me. Oh, well, okay. They can watch all they want. They can watch all they want. But the bounce theory, I don't know about speaking to it enough to have you completely understand it. Canadian Farmstead says it all started with a big bounce. Not really. It did start with a big bang, but the bounce theory is that there's basically a series of identical universes created. So everything, there's a period of expansion and then a period of contraction, and then it all just starts again. It's on an infinite loop. It's bouncing. But the big bang was what set it all off, and now it's just like this, and it gets created. It's exactly the same every time, so we're all just recycled into the next universe. I have to read about it more. It was interesting. Chris Dixon says most things start with a good bouncing. Yeah, for sure. Good morning, by the way, Chris Dixon. Thank you for stopping by the only place the show is going this morning. And Twitch. If you want to catch it on Twitch, you can go hang out with Hunter, although he doesn't want anyone over there. Canadian Farmstead says I ended up with this in this version of me. That's depressing. Right? Anyway, I got to read more about the big bounce theory. It's interesting. It started. So I saw a TikTok about it. That was part of another TikTok, and it just kind of sky high overview, basically what I was able to convey to you guys this morning. And so then it got me thinking, and I was like, I hadn't looked into it and found out that it was a continual bounce, so end to end. And I was like, I wonder if this is the cause of the Mandela effect, that these universes are kicking off, and they're almost exactly the same, but as they're living in parallel, they are you can kind of, they shift timelines, and they're just a little different. I don't know. It was just the thought that came into my head. It doesn't make any sense quite at all. It was 5:30 in the morning, and I hadn't had any coffee yet when I saw this. So give me a little bit of grace there. But anyway, so then I went in to dive in a little further and started reading about bounce theory, and that was interesting. So I'll have to read more about it. Canadian Farmstead says the Mandela effect is a government psyop, which I can't say I completely agree with. I completely agree with the fact that that's totally plausible. Is that a politician's answer right there? I completely believe that it's plausible that that's a possibility. Hunter says about Twitch, that's not true. I said it's quiet because I don't look at the chat while driving. What's wrong with you? Why don't you look at the chat while driving? Pip says in one of those universes, he has a Bitcoin loving chick in a sundress. You're still chasing that girl, huh? You haven't found her yet? Where have you been looking? We can help Pip find his sundress Bitcoin girl. Pip, where have you been looking? You have to look where girls in sundresses are, and then qualify that down to girls in sundresses that have Bitcoin. I would possibly start at a Bitcoin meetup or something like that. A Canadian farmstead wants 2. I'm not sure how many are there. I don't know how many Bitcoin girls in sundresses are there. Maybe we could start searching on Nostr. If I was streaming to Nostr this morning, we could put a call out. But for some reason, StreamYard doesn't want to send to Nostr. Jeremiah says it's only a car wreck. I mean, you guys can't do 2 fucking things at once? That was always the thing that irritated the living shit out of me, because I mean, my people of my age and several of you in the audience have come up with the advent of cell phones, with the advent of texting, with the advent of all the things on your phone. And the laws always lag behind technology. We were texting in cars when it was T9. And you had to like like kids today are like, oh, I could do it under my desk. I don't even need to look at the keyboard. Motherfucker, I was like grabbing CDs out of a CD book while texting T9, and my speakers were so loud I couldn't even hear myself think. Driving down the road about 70 miles an hour, and probably had a little bit of substance inside me too. So the fact that you can like text message under your desk, oh, big fucking deal. So, yeah, you can't text while you're driving. The thing that always pissed me off was when I would see cops using their fucking laptops while they were driving. Like, you get to go to some fucking special school that makes you qualified to be distracted driving? Is that some qualification? Can I go take that school? Is that a training I can take? Because I could probably do that too. I looked up and troubleshot more fucking issues on gas pumps in PDF manuals on my laptop, sitting on the passenger seat of my service van while driving down the highway. Like, you just need to know how to focus your attention. And I know I'm really good at that, and the show proves it. But no, I mean, it is completely possible to do 2 things at once. Hunter says no sundresses in Texas this morning. It's cold. It's cold here. We got fire rolling. Corey jumped up this morning and started a fire in the Cubic Mini. And it sounds like from this the plans this weekend are to gather way more firewood because she's scared that it's going to get cold and we're going to need it. Pip's been keeping an eye out on Jeep girls. Does that count? No. Are there any Jeep Bitcoiners? I would think that Jeepers Creepers would be dumping their money into Jeeps and not Bitcoin. They seem to be pretty all in. Mike's Homestead says all while eating fast food. Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. Eating lunch or having a beer or all sorts of other stuff while you're driving. Canadian Farm says that. I think that's the opposite. Bitcoin gains wealth, Jeeps are money sinks. Yeah, hey, you guys, me and Canadian Farmstead are on the same page. Brian says, when did they install speed bumps on the highway? Why was there somebody walking on the highway? Sometimes it's not your fault. In the land of protesters in Minnesota, you never knew there might be a group of people on the highway, and most people in the area were happy if you didn't stop. It's just backing up traffic. We don't care what you're upset about. We just need to go to work. I secondhand got a little bit of taste of Minnesota again yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Got done with the show and and Corey, we were on our walk and Corey's like, I saw geese today. And I was like, what? like I've told you guys, I mean, we've been in Tennessee going on 2 years now, and like I haven't seen any geese. And I actually miss the sounds of the geese, and I miss the internal clock of the geese. If it could come without the snow and the cold in the winter, it'd be perfect. But we had so many geese that lived out behind the property, it was just like a part of my soundtrack, my daily soundtrack was the geese. And I haven't heard any down here. And I talked to some folks, and they said that they used to migrate through here, and they shifted. The shifted. The flyway shifted. So yesterday, after while we were on our walk, and she's like, "Yeah," and I took a video just for you, and I was like, "No shit." She showed me the video, and in the first honk, I was like, "Oh." Like it was sensory. It was like really fantastic noise. And she's like, they're like honk honk honk, and she's following them in the sky. And at the end, she goes, "Canadians." It's just like, that's fantastic. Canadians are invading Canada geese. John says we have plenty of geese in Oklahoma. Canadas or snows? You got Canadas in Oklahoma? Is that the snow flyway goes, the main snow flyway that we hunted went down through Missouri into Arkansas, went South Dakota, Missouri, kind of cut across Missouri down to southeast Missouri, down through Arkansas into the Gulf. Canadian Farm says, "I'm so close to being Canadian." Dude, my dad has dual citizenship. I am about as close to Canadian as you can get. Hunter says you should crowdfund to get me a bicycle horn. Why the fuck would I want a bicycle horn? I don't even have a bicycle. And they don't sound like Canada geese, that's for sure. I have a goose call. I could go and make my own goose sounds, and people would be like, "What the fuck?" Chris Dixon says that's the Canadian Air Force. Jeremiah says the Canadians are coming. Well, and that was the John Palmer says Canadian. No, they're Canada geese. And if they're there year round, they're definitely United States geese. They're just Canada geese that were born in the United States. Canadian geese would be geese from Canada. Canada geese are a species of goose that lives in the United States and most of North America. How do you like that? Jeremiah says the Canadians are coming, and that was what I wanted to use the video for. I tried several ways, but the audio just didn't line up, and it wasn't quite crisp enough. It didn't come through the way it should have. But I was going to do something to the effect of Trump won, and now and all the celebrities are heading to Canada, and all the Canadians are heading here. Canadian Farm says half those geese are armed drones. That's why it seems like population has grown so fast. No, it's that they breed like a fucking crazy, and for every one you shoot, another couple dozen pop out. The snow geese population, that's the big problem. They're eating their habitat in the Arctic Circle, where they go to breed in the summer. Their growth has exploded so much over the last I think it's since the 70s is when the Conservation Act went into effect. But their population growth is so much that they're outgrowing their habitat, and they're getting to the Arctic Circle and they're starving. So that's why there's no limit when you hunt snow geese in the spring and in the fall. There's no limit on how many you can take. There's no plug limit on your gun. there's a very, very limited regulations on the methods you can hunt them. You can use electronic collars. You can use all sorts of different things because the population is expanding so fast that they're going to basically starve themselves. Wilder Life says, I'm further north than many Canadians. We had a ton of geese on the lake yesterday with blue heron. I saw a slew here with just an ass load of sandhill cranes. That's the big thing around here. Besides the few, I mean, there was probably a dozen that Corey saw, and I think they were migrating, and they were lost. They were headed towards the river, so maybe they just got pulled off onto the river. They actually migrate by highway lights. If you didn't know that, when snow geese for sure, and from what I understand, some ducks and Canada geese, they'll migrate at night and they fly directionally. They use the highway lights, and they'll stay near highways. So the guides that we used to hire that are very, very good at what they do, that's how they find flocks of geese when they're in a new area. So Chris Dixon says Cobra chickens are no joke, but they're tasty. They are. They can be. They can be tasty. They can be. You can really fuck them up too. You can really fuck them up. Chris, you ever have duck feet? You ever save the meat from duck feet and make that up? John Palmer hasn't checked the citizen status of the geese. If they're there all year round, they're residents, they're locals. They don't go anywhere. They're going to keep breeding. They probably live on golf courses and other places where they can't be shot or killed, and they feel safe, and they don't go anywhere because you don't have that bad of a winter. Canadian farm system, so you set up your blind at a traffic circle. No. When they land, they find a field and water, but they migrate along the highways. I don't know, man. I'm going on set. I'm not a bird I shouldn't say that. I'm not that much of a bird researcher. Weird Wilder Life says I need to make some goose pastrami. Goose pastrami is really good. You should make some of that. You should make some of that for your husband will love you more than he already does. Anyway, bounce theory. Bounce theory was something you might want to look up. It's just like it sounds, bounce theory. Another thing in that video was it was a conspiracy theory video, guys. Weird. About the Apple headphone jack when they took that out. Do you know why Apple took the headphone jack out of their phones originally? There's been many reasons, and they've really just run with it. But the original catalyst for Apple taking the earphone or the headphone jack out of off the iPhone was they wanted to make it so people couldn't use Square with their phone. At the time, Square readers were only you could only plug them into the headphone jack. Square eventually ended up having wireless connection, but the Square readers and Apple Pay was trying to develop Apple Pay, and they didn't want a competitor payment system used through their phone. They do it all the time too with apps in the App Store. If there's sales in the app, they get a huge cut. So like Patreon, messing around with that, when I set a one-time fee for like if you want to, if I say I publish an article and I want to charge $3 for the article, Patreon basically sets two prices. one for everybody in the world, and one price that's significantly higher for all the Apple users. So literally a $3 article or podcast or anything I wanna sell on Patreon, if an Apple user purchases it, it's $4.50. John Palmer says Samsung did the same thing. They took their headphone jack out after the fact, though. Apple led that revolution, and it was way before Samsung did. I remember when that went sideways, and they yeah, that was the original intent. Apple is very, very, very hell-bent on making sure they get their cut. Like Hunter says, money got to get their due. The Damus, the Noster client that is made for iPhone, has this problem. When they considered Zaps a transaction, and they wanted their cut, and yeah, so yay Apple, yay Apple. Rewilder Life says you can get a jack, but you have to buy some. That was an aftermarket invention. That was a solution. It's a dongle. You can buy a dongle so you can use the headphone jack. Rewilder Life says stupid Apple. Yeah, I'm navigating away from fucking Google too. I might just literally I had a moment. It was probably 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It was the day that that StreamYard fucking went sideways. I had a moment where I was like, all right, I'm fucking done. I'm done with everything right now. I'm going to hit reset and start again. I'm going to move to a de-Googled phone running on graphene. I'm going to wipe my computer clean, and I'm going to install Linux and go completely Google free. I'm going to drop all my Gmails. I'm going to drop everything I have going on right now and start again. I was just sitting there contemplating, it would be a mess. It would be a lot of work, but fuck, it would probably be worth it. Chris Dixon says, so now we tether Square through Bluetooth and nothing has changed. Apple still sucks. Yeah. John Palmer says, I don't like inferior phones. What, moving to graphene or Apple? Canadian Farm says, better do a little extra stoic before trying that. Once I pull the plug, what's the problem? If I pulled the plug on Google, I would completely, it would be the nuclear option for me. I have so much tied into YouTube, and all of it is through Google. It would be a nuclear option, and so it would be, I would go into it with the understanding that I'm just basically starting from zero. Oh, I stands for inferior. Yeah, I mean, good for them though. They can roll out the same product year after year after year, or every 6 months, and people will go buy it and spend more on it because they put a new number on it. I mean, good for them. Good for them. Hunter says, shit, we might not see him again once he realizes the piece. Like, no shit though. Like, I've it's tempting. It really is. With some things I want to pursue, with things that are already kind of in motion, it would mean a lot of stuff got cut out and a lot of stuff would change. A lot of work would go to naught, but it's been in the back of my head for more than a little while. Rewilders says EMF. My little group is working on degoogling this winter. Need to find a phone and a laptop. Are you doing that completely on your own? I met a guy at a company. I talked to him quite a bit. I'm still trying to get in touch with him. I'm thinking my shit's going to his spam message, or he just is busy, or he wants to ignore me, which all three are completely plausible, and that's fine. They sell different models of de-Googled phones. They're also starting up their own phone network too, I believe. So. The Dixon way says, once you go dark and start over, the issues are gone. A lot's EMP, if you will. Right? I'm learning from my friends, though. My friends that are gone for the winter, they just transitioned to some de-Googled stuff. Through broke his phone, and I had to order a new one. It was kind of like, let's do this. They had been planning, and so they did it. I definitely took some tips from them, some things that will want to preserve, will want to have in line before I flip the switch if I do. And like when I was talking to the gentleman at SRF about the de-Googled phones and graphing and all of that, it doesn't mean that you can't use Google. Because I asked him, and I asked Nicole Sauce, because she was doing relatively soon after SRF, she was making a transition to a de-Googled phone. You can put it in a locker on the phone. Basically, you have several phones on your phone, and you can sign in, or profiles, if you will, like you would on your computer. But basically, it locks down. You put anything you want in different categories on your phone, and when you open it, that's all that's there. So you can basically, if you are doing social media, if you're doing the stuff that requires Google, you can slide over to that partition and use it, and it doesn't have access to any of your other stuff. Same with crypto. You can set up a completely isolated crypto profile on your phone. That's all that's there. And then your everyday use stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting and convenient. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. People are willing to do it if you pay them, though. Your Wildlife says, I also have very tech savvy kids. Yeah, that helps. That helps. I thought I was a tech savvy kid at one time. I was until I stopped learning, and it kept progressing. Did you guys know that the technology went on, like when you got to be in your teens, in your 20s, and you got a job and a life and a wife and all the stuff going on, and you didn't have time to keep up with the latest technology advancements? It kept going. Did you guys know that? And then there were brief periods in my life where everything would calm down, and I would like dive back into tech, and I'm like, holy shit. Noster is on fucking warp drive. It's absolutely insane. I'm so glad I signed up for Noster when I did. One, it's been a wonderful experience, and the community there is fantastic, and I wish we were going there. But I think that's on our end, on StreamYard's end, not on Noster's end. But watching it develop, watching like it's multifaceted. The community there is fantastic. For any social media I've been on. And like I mentioned it before, it might be because I've curated my feed to only have people that are doers and positive and creating stuff and putting the right things out into the universe. Maybe that's just the culture of the people there, which I also believe is part of the fact. But watching it develop over the last year or more, I guess now, watching people say, hey, I really wish this could do this, and hours later, a coder has spit it out. Watching the things that people are creating with it, watching the way people are coming up with using it, and being part of that has been fantastic. And I'm really trying to work with one of the guests that I had on the show this week, to see if there's a way we can meld her services in with Noster. It would be it's the missing piece into of something I wanted to do and something I was trying to spin up and figure out how it would work for a while. And I hit a roadblock, and her service is what breaks through the roadblock. So I'm seeing if they can meld together, and if they can, there'll be a fun new thing. Ron Cole Jr. wondering if this is live. Yes, this is live from Middle Tennessee, the Lots Project Morning Show. How's it going, Ron Cole Jr.? Hope everything is going well with you. Hunter, you got a friend on Twitch. Oh, so yeah, from Canada Geese to am I not on YouTube? I'm on a new YouTube channel. I pulled the morning show and the live stuff off of the main channel. The new YouTube channel, I posted a link to the feed, today's current. Yeah, I can do. I can get the main channel feed. It's Friday's been going sideways already anyway, so why not just fuck around a little bit more. We got a whole 16 subscribers over there, guys. I really want to give this jade away. I really would like to give it away. But I'm not doing it till there's 100 subscribers there. So there's that. There's that. If you guys want to go over and subscribe, I just posted the link in the Telegram channel. I don't know what else to do with it. Giveaways are such a fucking shit show. I just don't understand. I don't understand what to do with it. Headphone jack, big bounce theory. Oh, my friend is back. I posted in the Telegram group the other day, and the Telegram group, by the way, is t.me/LotsChat. T.me/LotsChat. I posted in there that that my friend, my quote unquote friend, must have had his debt sold again. And some people are like, what are you talking about? So it sounds like not everybody in the community really knows about my friend that I've had for the last going on a decade, I have to believe. It started before this whole scenario started before I got my job as a gas tech. So I worked for them for over Mike Homestead said the thing will be obsolete by the time you give it away. Thanks, man. I really appreciate your confidence in the growth of my YouTube channel. Jesus Christ. I love you guys. Why do I get up? Why do I get up every morning early and sign on to just take this abuse? What up, Haas? You made it. You made it. You found the link over on Telegram. Rarely in Telegram group. That's cool. That's why I try to go to multiple places. I try to get the message out because people have their favorite platforms and stuff. John Palmer says keep it a small movement. Yeah, maybe keep it in a tight knit community. Isn't that what people say when their shit won't take off? They're like, oh, just try to keep it small. The fuck you are. Anyway, So this situation that keeps popping up in my life is just a royal pain in the ass. It's going on. It's got to be going on a decade here. Started relatively soon before I got my fuel tech job. Continued all the way through that and into present day. And what's going on is this dude. His name is Christopher Giordano. If you fucking know him, could you get a hold of him for me? Because I have some people that would like to talk to him. So this ass clown must have used my phone number on a loan application, on credit card applications, on some sort of large amount of money because they've been going after him for a fucking decade. And so what happens is for a long time, I got calls. If this is Christopher Giordano, they'd leave a message, and then his name kept ringing in my ear, and I would check my phone, and there'd be a message or a missed call. And I was using my work phone all day, specifically when I got to the service tech job, and so there was a lot of time where I wouldn't have my personal phone out, and I would like pick up my phone, and there would be like 6 missed calls and 3 messages. It was always the same message, and it was for this dude, Christopher Giordano. And I ignored it. And then finally I fucking started answering it and talking to these people. And over the years, I've had it out with them. I've threatened to call fucking lawyers to cease and desist and told them I was filing suit against their fucking company. And they would finally eventually stop calling. And then they would start calling again. And I figured out that every time they start calling again is when his debt gets sold to a new fucking company. And so they start the process all over again. And where they start at the beginning, my phone number is his phone number. So then they start calling and calling and calling. And usually it takes me 2 or 3 times of either calling them back or answering when they call and being like, you got the wrong fucking number and you have for the last decade. You're never going to get your fucking money. I don't know how much it is. I don't know how they could possibly still be under the amount owed with all the man hours that they've put into this fucking trying to collect. I don't know what this guy owes, but holy shit. And if I ever talk to him, I want to find out how you disappear that good. Because holy shit. But anyway, the other day, I told you guys I've been getting all these, I don't know what fucking company that I gave my phone number to get samples because they need it for tracking. I mean, they do. Like, I understand that they do some of the ordering, fulfillment stuff and shipping departments need a phone number. I get that. I've asked them to use like 111, 111, 1111, whatever. I'm not at the place it gets delivered anyway. So you call me and like I won't be able to help you. And half the time I don't have service anyway. But one of those fucking companies sold my number. And for months now, I've been getting, this is Jenny I'm a senior underwriter for blah, blah, blah. I don't need a fucking loan. I don't want a loan. I never applied for a loan. So stop fucking calling me that I'm approved for a fucking loan. But like, it's always the same. The message is always the same length. They call back repeatedly 2 or 3 times in a row and leave 2 messages. The pattern is obviously clear. It's a robocaller or whatever. So I've been getting those. And then the other day, and every once in a while I have to, every 2 or 3 days I have to listen to my voicemails and delete them. And every once in a while I'll actually get a voicemail that is somebody or something that I need to hear because I don't answer my phone. My phone is rarely actually has its ringer on or anything. Send me a message, send me an email, send me a Telegram message, leave me a voicemail, whatever. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. There's certain people that I'll answer the phone for. That's if I see it come up. Rewild says fake number like a Google number. I can do that too. It was just I don't care. I don't answer my phone. So, but at this point, I'm having to clear my voicemail every like 2 or 3 days. That's how many times these people fucking call and leave messages. And so I was going through the other day, and I was deleting my voicemails. I was listening to them, and it's been, man, a good 6 months since I got a Christopher Giordano call, and there it was. The voicemails from the loan company are always 24 seconds long. 20, I shouldn't say 20, 21 to 24 seconds long. And it always starts out with the end of another conversation, and it pauses, and then it'll say, "I'm Jim, I'm Sue," and it's a different names, but it's the same recorded fucking message. So all of a sudden I'm looking, and there's a 55-second message. Says I was getting calls. It's fine. Oh, it could have been. It could be from Telegram. Who the fuck knows? It is too late at this point. I don't really care. But I saw a message that was in the low 20s in seconds, and I was like, huh, interesting. So I listened to it, and it was like, this message is for, and then like a 4 to 6 second pause, silence, and then a computer generated voice goes, "Christopher Giordano," and I'm like, motherfucker. That guy's debt got sold again, and I'm gonna have to deal with these motherfuckers calling. I'm gonna have to answer. I'm gonna have to call it back. This dude has been a thorn in my fucking asshole for going on 10 years now. You really want to fucking irritate somebody? You really want to fuck with somebody? Get a loan and put their phone number on the application, and then don't pay it back. There you go. Not financial advice. I mean, there's way better ways to fuck with people. Go through a tumultuous divorce, and you will definitely realize that there are plenty of fun ways to have fun. That's as much as I'm gonna say about that. Corey's got new snails. How many, Corey? 7? Yeah. Corey's got new snails. And I have been made aware of a site. John Palmer says school loan, they never stop. I don't have I'm not going to school though. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to get FAFSA filled out and all that. Can you use a fake number for that, or do they do text verify and shit? Haas says just throw their number on a porn site. Yeah, there's is Craigslist still a thing? Craigslist was fun. I've never done anything. I've read a lot of articles about how you can have fun on Craigslist with fucking with people. I would never dream of doing anything like that. I like to entertain myself with thoughts of things that I could do if I really wanted to. So Corey comes home the other day, and she's like, I got new snails. And I'm like, oh, okay, more snails. Just figuring they were the run-of-the-mill ones that we find out on the road. She's got several. How many other kinds? 3 kinds? 4 kinds? She got like 4 kinds, and she sits there and she observes them, and she found a site where she can go and find pictures and kind of like match them up and figure out what actual kind of snail it is. And they're all general category land snails, but she's going a step further. Well, she comes home the other day. She's like, I got new snails. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You got more. Okay, crazy wife. She's like, no, they're really cool. They're cornucopia snails. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And she shows me. And these ones have so most of all the snails she had prior are the round ones, like you would typically see, like Gary on SpongeBob. you got the round shells. These ones are actually like a spiral cornucopia looking thing. And she found 7 of them on the road, and she brought them all home. And she was on her run day. So this is what she tells me. She's like, I was on my run and I found snails and I brought them home. And I was like, so you stopped and picked them up and carried them home? She's like, yeah. She's like, I was going for a personal best. I was just going to run a mile and try to get my personal best in a mile. And I was like, oh, so you ran a mile and you got them on the way back, because she told me where she found them. And I was like, well, that's not quite a mile there. You must have sprinted out, done your mile as fast as you could, and turned around, and on your walk back, you picked up the snails. And she's like, no, I saw them and I stopped and I picked them up and I still got my personal best. And I'm thinking to myself, you probably could have cut another fucking minute off it if you just ran instead of picking up snails. But anyway, she picked up a bunch of snails, and they're pretty cool. They're little tiny ones. And so I was asking her how big they were going to get. Are these ones going to get as big as the round ones? Because she's got some round ones that are rather large. She says it's golf ball size. It's close. But last night I asked her how big these cornucopia ones were going to get. And she's like, I don't know. And I said, well, let's look it up. I said, you said you had a site. What kind are they? And she's like, oh, it's like a big scientific name. It's on this site. I match up the pictures, and then it just has their name there. I was like, well, we can just take that name and throw it into ChatGPT and learn a shitload about them. Well, come to find out, I learned that the cornucopia snails, and I can't tell you the name. I forget. It wasn't too horrible, but it was a scientific name and genus and species and stuff like that. Canadian Farmstead says she should be happy she thinks they're golf ball size. I'm getting her to start doing stuff in millimeters because it just makes me feel like I'm bigger. Is that 8 millimeters? But anyway, so we started looking up the snails. And the first one we looked up was the cornucopia one that she calls cornucopia one. Is that a technical name, or did you make that up? She just made that up. She hadn't seen that anywhere. But anyway, we take the scientific name, we put it in ChatGPT, and I asked how big it would grow. And it started giving me a really nice description of the Canadian Farm. Says it's because of my Canadian heritage. And so it's like the diameter of the shell can grow to 0.7 inches. And I'm like, and it had the millimeters conversion. I can't remember what it was, but it actually listed it in millimeters and then put 0.7 inches in parentheses. Dixon says whipping out the 9 millimeter takes a whole new meaning. Right. Watch out for this, boys. It's not 9 millimeters long, it's 9 millimeters around. So ChatGPT tells me that this cornucopia snail, this is the new technical name for the snails that Corey's got, cornucopia. She's going to name them, I guess. But it says it's going to be get to about 0.7 diameter. And my brain goes, it's not a fucking circle. How can you give me a diameter with no other reference and it's not a circle? And so I asked ChatGPT, and I was like, hey, what do you mean diameter? It's not a circle. And it gave me the in-depth description of how they measure snails and categorize snail shells. So the diameter of a snail shell is the maximum width across the snail perpendicular to the axis that the body emits from, or some shit like that. Basically, you got your snail and you got the shell on the snail. perpendicular, the widest point across the top. And I was like, oh, that's nice. That's interesting. And Corey's like, well, I wonder if they're gonna I wonder how big that is compared to my other big one, the golf ball sized one. And I shouldn't make fun. It's got to be close to a golf ball. We need to get some calipers to measure the size of our snails. But basically, it looks like these cornucopia ones are going to get to about half to a little more, half to 60% of the size of the bigger one. I was hoping that it would grow to the size of the bigger one, because that would be a pretty sweet looking shell. Because if it got to that width, I think the length would be really cool, and it'd come out to a big point. And it might still be even at 0.7 inches, because the other one gets to about an inch and a half. So yeah, like half the size. But I think those shells could be pretty cool. So she grabbed 7 of those. She put them in her tank. She's got like, I don't know, she's got like fucking 30 in there. Do you know how many you have? She probably has close to 30. She has no idea how many snails she has. She just put a bunch of babies on a log. I don't know. Canadian Farmstead said snail wars. I mean, I think they pretty much coexist. I think they figured their shit out way better than humans do, and they're good. They're good. Yeah, so there's the snails. I'm not going to get to the odd world records again. I got 10 of the oddest world records was the name of this little article I found. I haven't really looked at them much. Are you interested in any of these records? I'll give you the top, the 10 categories. We got the longest fingernails on a pair of hands, most t-shirts worn at once, largest collection of rubber ducks, most people dressed as Smurfs at once, the largest collection of pizza boxes, the longest time spent hula hooping, most tattoos in 24 hours by one person, the largest gathering of people dressed as zombies, the fastest 100 meters run backwards, or the most marshmallows stuck in a person's face in 1 minute. I thought it was an interesting list, I guess. I just read the headline. It said odd world records. I was like, oh, that could be something fun to talk about. But now that I read the topics, it's not that impressive. The largest collection of rubber ducks, in case Pip's wondering, is 9,000, over 9,000. Collected from all over the world. Interesting. Anyway, that list was I should have probably listed Schmalo. Got a good weekend coming up. I'm gonna be out. We're gonna head out to Delinquent's Gully this weekend after work today. Got a bunch of stuff to go to do. Got to get firewood, like I said, because Corey said the chill is coming, where we're gonna want to be running fires in the morning at least. And got tote work to do. I got some adapters coming for the totes, so we can actually get the water out of the totes. Hopefully, I'm setting up a on-demand hot shower system at Tim's. Recently, we've been using a bucket shower or a bag shower. We have a battery-operated bucket shower where you fill the 5-gallon bucket with water, and it's a battery-operated pump, and it goes to a shower head. Works great. We also have a hanging bag shower that you can hang up in the sun, and it's gravity fed. I'm going to take it a step further because we just ordered a new water heater. I think I mentioned it the other day. Ours is kind of getting corroded and smoking a little bit. So we're going to take it out there and do some testing with it because the new one's coming, and I'll have to take the old one down anyway. but hook up that RV pump and get some pressurized hot water out there for showers, which will be kind of fun. I got a bunch of coffee stuff coming in. I have to test out. I'm going to do a bunch of content this weekend. I will be very highly caffeinated on Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys could put some good prayers out there for Corey, that she survives and doesn't go completely insane with me bouncing off the fucking walls. But you got to do what you got to do as a content creator, and I'm gonna want to test out these devices and make content. So might as well just sit out there and drink cups of coffee, right? Can't throw it away, can't waste it. Might as well film it and make more and drink more. So I got several coffee brewing devices on the way. I got a brand new grinder and all sorts of fun stuff. And what else do we got going on? I'm gonna design, or I already have it designed in my head, but I'm going to actually measure out, layout, and get parts list for the completion of the gutter system and the overflow and everything for the tote up on the shed up at our property or our build site. Get that all figured out, and so I can pick up the parts to finish that, and try to get the rest of the trees down, both at our site and at Tim's for the Starlink. Open up the sky just a little bit more and run some more testing on Starlink. Although I'm not taking my computer out this weekend. I think next weekend. Corey, you got next Friday off? So Corey's got next Friday off, and then the following weekend's Thanksgiving, and she has a long weekend. You got Thursday, Friday off Thanksgiving? Ooh, Thursday, Friday, Monday. Look at that baller with all her PTO. We're gonna have a long weekend the following weekend, so we'll I'll hopefully get the trees cut down and get a little signal testing, figure that system out. Maybe get some more panels hooked up to the battery bank to run the router to see if that can get straightened out. And then next week we'll probably head out on Thursday, try to do the show on Friday from the cabin, do some testing. I'll take the computer out and see how that works. And hopefully everything's good, and we'll spend a long holiday weekend out at the cabin. And it'll be really nice once the signal's strong and solid out there, and we can start live streaming from there, because we'll do some different stuff, projects and do some lives of when we're working out there. So exciting things. It's just trying to figure out how to get everything to work. We will see. So should be a good weekend. Mike Homestead says, yeah, because that always goes so well. The morning show from the cabin, yeah, it will. I think I've diagnosed everything that went wrong, and I have a possible solution for everything that I think went sideways. Everything that was a possibility of going sideways, I've come up with a solution for. So it's just a matter of getting it done. So we will see. Should be a good weekend. If nothing else, I'm going to get to drink a bunch of coffee and try out a bunch of cool new gear. I talked about the tire plug kit. I'll see if anybody out there's got a tire that I can fuck around with and do that. Actually, I think I know where I can get a tire. So I got tire plug kit. I got the night vision. I don't want to call them goggles. The night vision binoculars. I'm gonna test out because I can't test them out here because it's too fucking light at night. With all the street lights and everything, I went out to use them, and it was like the scene from Step Brothers, where they had the night vision goggles on. They turned the lights on. I turned it on. I was like, wow, that's really bright. Holy shit. Mike Soap says I might possibly have a likely idea that might solve it. Well, there were known issues. There were multiple issues. I know this. There were a minimum of 2 and likely 3 one of them might be an issue I'm having here on site here too. So gonna mess around with it and see what happens. So anyway, it's gonna be a good weekend. I'm excited. I hope all of you have a super productive weekend heading into the holiday time here. Just a heads up, we talked about the vehicle, the tire plug kit yesterday, and I went ahead and made an idea list on Amazon for vehicle gear, emergency vehicle gear. What's going on, Norman? Emergency vehicle gear, and got that posted. I'll post the link in the comments. It's also in the episode description. If you could go check that out. If you need any of that stuff, please click the link on the idea list and go order it, and I'll get a little bit of credit for it. If you see something that should be on that list, let me know. I would love to add more items to it. It's not a done list. I will be editing and adding as I find products and put my hands on them, or take a recommendation from someone that's used it. So there you go. If you got something that you carry that you're impressed with the quality of the product, and you feel like passing that information on, let me know, and I will find it, get it on the list. So I appreciate all you guys hanging out all week, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Be sure to check out the Telegram group, hang out there, post messages about what you got going on, and enjoying the kind of insane chat that happens in the Lots Project Telegram chat, t.me/Lots chat. And if you got some time this weekend, if you could head over to your podcast player and check out Director Detour, you might like it. Got episode 6 released this morning. Rhonda Parker, author, entrepreneur, and the like. We had a nice chat, and like I said, got episodes recorded through the first of the year, so it's not going anywhere. That'll be 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week, all the way through the first of the year right now, and long beyond. So hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will catch up with you on Monday.